Yes, here we are again.
Yes, hello guys. And
what is going on?
Yeah, welcome back to a very interesting Nerds of the Decade.
Oh yes, this one's gonna be really good.
Dude, what were you gonna say? There's a joke you were gonna make.
Well, there was. I was gonna say, welcome back to another episode of Are You Dandy?
Yeah, well, actually, I was gonna say, welcome back to another episode of Boobies, the podcast, Dandy style.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because it's Dandy. Why not Boobies?
Yeah. Why not? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, guys, if you guys haven't gotten the hints right now.
Yeah, and if you don't hear the music playing in the background, then you probably, or if you do hear the music playing in the background, you probably already know what this episode is about.
Indeed it is.
And if we didn't give it away already, right, dude?
Exactly. But before we get into the juicy bits, that is the booty lover himself, Dandy. Let's introduce ourselves, shall we, to those who don't know?
I'm Dandy.
Yes.
Not really.
He's a dandy guy, but he's not really.
I'm a dandy guy, but I'm not the dandy, the space dandy. That title belongs to Ian Sinclair.
Exactly. But in this case, girls, you can call him Mr. Junior Half, or you can call him Mr. Laughs a Lot.
And this over here. Alexa, shut up.
Exactly.
Sorry, Alexa was activated. Anyway, this over here is not Alexa. This is Dante Lewis, or
in this case,
as I like to call him, Mr.
And Delicious.
Yes.
So that will be us.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, you already know who we are. So
yes.
Are you ready?
Dude, tell everybody the title, and then let's get into the juicy bits.
Let's get this dandy started.
And this is going to be a new format for this podcast.
Yeah.
So the time, it's not going to be as long as it usually is.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, anyway, dude, let's get into it.
All right. Let's get started, shall we?
Let's get started, Eddie.
All right. On this one, guys, we are going to be talking about the one and only Dandy himself from Space Dandy, which actually came on Toonami back in 2014.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually been a while since I've seen this show, but
So, dude, and as far as I remember, at least from what I remember, this show was simulcast dubbed.
Yeah, it was
really fast, and Monica Royal was responsible for some one or two, I think, of the episodes that they did.
She was one of the head writers.
I think it was like one episode she did. It was one of the funny ones.
It was a couple of them. Yeah.
That they did she directed and did some of the other stuff for the show. I think she wrote one of the episodes. I think.
Yeah,
too.
she did.
I can't remember.
She did actually.
But don't quote me on that. But I believe I remember hearing that. But so it is really quickly dubbed, really fast, faster than the subtitled episodes were dubbed.
Yeah, actually they were dubbed around the same time.
Yeah.
The simul dubs usually dub around the same time. But yeah, guys, we are actually going to be talking about Dandy. So here's
what's your real quick? Let me ask you something.
Really?
No, you let me ask you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of Space Dandy?
Right now, honestly, it would have to be the Chameleonian. That one's pretty fun.
Well, there's a couple ones that I like because there's both that one and then also the very first episode where he talks about Boobies, the restaurant, and the introductions. Those are, and then the what is it? It's the strings where they're pulling on dimensional strings. Yeah.
Yep, that one. It was like 27 different dandies.
Yeah, and they're all like,
that's that one.
where they're like holding a meeting of the dandies.
Exactly.
He's like, all right. He's like, time to hold a meeting of the dandies. Kind of like the Jedi Council.
Exactly. All right, so guys.
Bring me a dandy.
I know, right?
Bring me something dandy.
Bring you a dandy, of course. Okay, so guys, I know we've been talking about Dandy this and Dandy that, but to those who have no idea what this show is about, we're gonna give you a little quick briefing.
Yeah, dude, real quick.
Yeah. So Space
Speed
Dandy,
briefing.
Exactly. Space Dandy is basically a dandy guy who is in space.
And he's dandy.
He happens to be, yeah, exactly. And he's an alien bounty hunter with his crew consisting of a cat and a robot. His mission basically is to visit all of the intergalactic places and boobies.
Well, yeah, and also meet meet aliens that are both friendly and not. Anyway.
And space hooters.
Yeah, well, yeah, and a lot of boobies and food.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much Dandy in a nutshell.
Well, he's a bounty hunter, kind of like Spike. Only this is more of a funny, comedic kind of bounty hunter. Where
fun fact, Dandy and Spike actually take place in the same universe.
Yeah, because they're Oolongs.
Exactly. But Dandy actually takes place maybe 10, 20, 30 years after Spike's mission.
I believe is what they... I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what they said in when they first premiered the show. I believe that's what they said.
That's what they mentioned.
But Dandy's more of a... Dandy reminds me of Johnny Bravo, because it's more supposed to be funny and comedic, where Dandy doesn't always achieve his goal. Sometimes he fails, like he dies in the first episode, whereas Spike is supposed to be more serious and supposed to actually do something and get somewhere.
Right.
Dandy's more comedic and funny, so you could say Dandy's kind of a loser.
Yeah, Dandy's more of like that lazy bro from junior college.
He talks a big game, but his actual game is not great.
But yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because now we're actually going to get into his personality and skill set. So for what some people may think, that the way that Dandy's always being lazy this and lazy that, they may think he's like an anti-hero protagonist, and half of the way you might be kind of right. But when it comes to menial tasks, he usually dumps all that work on QT.
Usually.
He's like, hey, QT, I don't want to do this.
Well, dude, it's just like the modern days, right? Most people dump work on the computer, right?
Yeah,
why the heck do you need your brain when you got a computer?
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes he may contradict himself, but he's never above not helping.
Well, dude, the one thing that's funny about Dandy is Dandy always has this kind of personality. He's always like...
Exactly.
He's always like full of himself, right?
Right.
And it's hilarious to see. When he fails, it's even funnier because you're like, okay, like he's approaching this all wrong.
Exactly.
You know?
And you may think he knows what he's doing, but like, oh, baby, I got this. Yeah. But then it never actually works out.
What's the thing that he says in one of the previews? He's just like, in one of the previews on Toonami, he was just like, he's just like, oh, you know me, baby.
Exactly.
It's funny with the hair thing. Oh, you know me, baby.
Exactly.
It's terrible.
And dude, actually, one thing that I've noticed with Dandy is the fact that all of his little ships is named after Hawaiian terminology, like little aloha.
Aloha,
and then you got big aloha and big halakamani.
So the actual ship that he travels on is the actual Aloha Oi, which is funny because the way they, the name of the ship.
Yeah.
But QT, the robot, I think that's a pretty interesting and funny name.
Oh, yeah, QT.
But yeah, QT. Yeah.
And then, of course, you got his other character, Meow.
So, okay, so let me ask you something, too, Dante. Is that, do you like the way the opening to the show? What's your favorite? Do you like the opening that's playing in the background now, or do you like the other one?
So basically,
there's two different openings.
Right, there is. So basically, the opening to the show, when I first saw it, I immediately the first thing that came into my mind was, oh, this is gonna be about a funky disco man in space.
I mean, like, dude, listen to the music.
I know, right? You just dancing and just having good fun.
I mean, dude, it sounds like you're having a rave party.
Well, it's more like one of those 1970s throwback Saturday Night Fever John Travolta type things.
Yeah, kind of. You're right.
Yeah, the whole John Travolta outfit.
But yeah, and then, dude. Okay, so let me ask you another thing, right?
Yeah.
What about the design? Do you like? Because Dandy's hair reminds me of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures mixed with a Johnny Bravo on steroids.
If you think about it, he's honestly going for the Fonzie look from Happy Days. So,
man, dude, hey, the Fonzie.
But it's like a space Fonzie if you think about it. But honestly, back then, fun fact.
Yeah.
Back in like the 70s, a lot of the Japanese boys actually wore hairdo from the 50s.
But did they like puff it? Like Dandy's hair kind of puffs out in the front.
Well, it's a pompadour. It's a pompadour base. So, it's a pompadour with sideburns.
Mutton chops. He's got the long.
Yeah, they wore hairdos from the 50s back in the 70s, which is kind of different. But when I first saw this, I immediately thought, hey, this is going to be about a space disco rave bounty hunter.
The first time I saw it, I immediately got Johnny Bravo vibes.
I know, right?
That was the first thing that came on was Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
And I was like, this should be pretty funny. But also, I was like, I hope they don't mess up the comedy, because I was like, if the comedy goes, if the comedy goes wrong, I said I won't like it, right? Exactly. But if they get the comedy right, I was like, this is gonna be hilarious.
I know.
And the surprising thing for me was the artwork, because it's three of the most popular writers that do the show, and also the most popular artists do the show. Because the artwork is different in each episode, kind of like School Rumble, where each episode is different, a different kind of the episode has got a different theme. Each episode is different themed and has a different thing, but they all connect in some way. He's still on a mission to collect the aliens and meet new creatures and stuff like that.
Get oolongs and just
money.
be dandy and head to boobies all the time.
Which is interesting. So yeah, I mean, like, dude, like that's really what kind of threw me, but also kind of hooked me on this show.
Right, definitely. So, dude, let me ask you something.
What?
How do you think about Dandy's combat style when it comes to alien hunting?
Well, okay, so let's put it this way, right? Dandy's combat style, he's not, I'm going to put it simply and bluntly, he's not the most elegant.
No,
he ends up, he tries to be fancy. He does flips and stuff with his guns and he juggles things around, right? And he ends up missing and he's like, whoops, I meant to do that.
Exactly.
When he made a mistake and you're like, it's pretty obvious that he messed up.
Yeah, exactly. He's not exactly a straight shooter, to be honest. I think there's actually one episode where he tries.
Yeah, well, he does. There's one where they're going on an alien planet, and he just starts to fire at the alien and completely misses, and the whole like piece of rock face falls down on him. He's like, I meant to do that.
Yep, I meant to do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, but honestly, when it comes to like combat and trying to be a straight shooter, he's not really the best at doing it. But also, one thing that I found out is Dandy's actually a professional surfer.
That's
a little bit.
That's funny.
Yeah. There was actually one episode where he did that.
Well, wait, do they show? Is that shown in the actual episode of the show, dude?
There's one episode where he does that.
Where he's surfing?
Yeah,
I don't remember that. Darn, I have to go back and watch the show again. It's been like so long since I watched. But there was a thing. Was that in the Strings one where they're pulling the different universes with the dimensional phrase? Because they showed Danny as a truck driver, which is funny.
Right. Wait, Danny's a truck driver?
Yeah, the one universe, he's a truck driver.
Yeah, I'm a big rig man.
Well, the funniest thing about that one was all the so I thought it was clever how all the different dimensional strings that they pulled, all had something to do with different, and it was a parody on a different anime. So they had like Space Inspector Dandy, which is so sweet.
Inspector Gadget Dandy.
Yeah, which is like Cowboy Bebop slash what is it? Inspector Gadget, right? Because he had a gun and his hair was styled like Spike, right? And then there's like Big Dandy, which is supposed to be Attack on Titan type Dandy,
I know, right?
Air Brick Dandy, you know.
And then of course there's One Punch Dandy.
Well, they didn't say it in the show. They named only a few. But the idea was there's tons of different dandies,
right, in
different dimensions, right? But they had like Air Brick Dandy, Big Dandy, She Dandy, and then what's on? There's Space Inspector Dandy, and there's the Mobile Suit Gundam Pilot Dandy, and there's one with the Space Ninja.
Dandy?
No, they had the Ninja.
Oh yeah,
Ninja Dandy, which is like supposed to be Naruto slash,
Naruto Space Dandy.
Well, it's supposed to be like a Naruto version of Dandy,
right?
Where his hairstyle was similar to Naruto, and like he was like Shadow Clone Jutsu, or no, it was Substitution. QT was
I think so. So yeah, apparently in that episode, Space Dandy actually had its own Dandy Multiverse.
Yeah. Which I thought that was clever, the way that they did the parody on different anime was funny.
Right, definitely. But I think also with Dandy, I think the reason why he knows about the dimensional strings, is the fact
guys, don't pull the dimensional strings. He's like, hey, didn't you hear what I just said?
Didn't you hear what I just said? Don't pull the dimensional strings.
He's like, ow! And the thing hits him in the head. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the reason why Dandy knows is because he actually is aware of the secret of warping due to his genetic makeup. Because I think from what I heard, there was like a God sort of thing that was in him.
No, so at the very, very end of the show, there's a big reveal, right?
Sorry about spoilers.
Yeah, there's a big reveal. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'll say that Dandy is the key to everything. I will say that. I'm not going to say what the big reveal is, but if you watch the show at the very, very end, there's a huge reveal as to why everyone's after Dandy.
Basically, he's the number 42, but in real life.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that he's the key to everything. Kind of the key to the universe, almost, you could say.
I think 42 was the key to the universe.
I don't know. Number 42 is somehow significant. Don't ask me. Alexa apparently thinks so.
Yeah, 42 is the meaning of life, basically.
Yeah. But I would say 64 because that's the anime rule number 64. It's like never attack the guy who glows.
64.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's funny how 69 is the meaning of well. I'm not even worried about that. But yeah, I think honestly, if you had to if you had a favorite episode, exactly, if you had to just pick one, even if it's just like one or two, what episode would be your funniest and why?
That's hard because like there's a lot of different episodes where the first episode is really funny,
right?
But then there's also the one that you mentioned, the Chameleonian, and there's a lot of other ones where like there's parts in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there where it's really funny, but also very interesting the way that they just go about telling the story and how the story is told.
That's true.
It would be tough for me to pick one. I do really like the Dimensional episode. That's one of my favorites.
Right.
But the Chameleonian also is another one of my favorites. Just the way the way it's written and the way that they go at some of the jokes in there is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough. I don't think I could. I don't think I can pick one, to be honest with you.
Right. I think for me, like in terms of the different episodes, one in particular kind of stuck out when they did that thing to Son Goku, but he was actually running on the cloud and he sounded like Michael Jackson.
Well, that was
that was part
that's in the universe multi-universe where they pull a dimensional string and it takes him into this Dragon Ball like universe, and the characters are supposed to be similar to Dragon Ball because they're playing it's a parody on Dragon Ball with the way QT's designed, right?
Yeah.
And then also the way the characters look. And also, the one character is supposed to be kind of like Goku or like Master Roshi. He's holding a staff like Roshi, but flying on the Nimbus Cloud like Goku. And he's like super energized, and he's got like the star pattern on his shirt and all that mess, right? But it originally wasn't supposed to be Michael Jackson, from what I've heard from some of the actors from what I've looked into. The original intention was not original Michael Jackson, but the way that they dubbed it, they kind of turned it into that. Oh yeah, they kind of turned it into that, and they went that direction, which actually made it that much funnier.
Exactly.
Ow!
Exactly.
Yeah.
It literally kind of made that character that much funny, and I think that was kind of like one of my favorite parts about it.
It's just like, this kid's trying to kill me.
Exactly. So, guys.
Get some money.
Right?
Ow! So anyway.
This kid's trying to kill me.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's hilarious. But I think all in all, if you look at Danny's personality, he's basically just a guy that's, I don't know, he can be lazy and lax sometimes and boorish, but honestly, he's just he's basically just one of those guys where, yeah, he may seem like a total jerk, but there are other moments where he's like, yeah, I might want to decide to have a drink with this dude.
Or some ramen.
Or boobies, or whatever works.
Well, so the best part about the boobies thing was that it was both a metaphorical but also literal joke, because the metaphorical joke was right. It's supposed to be like boobies, like a person, right?
Right.
Girl boobies. But the literal joke, when you see it on screen, it's a restaurant, which is kind of funny because they both gave you a metaphorical joke about ladies' boobs,
right?
But then a actual literal joke, an actual restaurant joke. That you could actually look at and like actually see for yourself, and it was pretty hilarious.
Exactly, it's pretty much a play on Hooters.
Yeah, really.
Because when you go to Hooters, what do you see? Girls.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing that you think of?
And also, what's the first thing people do? They hoot and holler.
Exactly. They hoot and holler at boobies.
Yeah. It's like, hey, dude, can you imagine, right? You're in that dandy universe, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you just hear someone's like, "Get over here and show me some boobies."
Exactly.
That's terrible.
That's literally the first thing that happens as soon as they get there.
Oh man.
So yeah,
funny.
Basically, guys, all in all, Dandy's pretty much dim-witted to a lot of people. A lot of people may think he's dim-witted.
I wouldn't say he's it's not that I wouldn't say he's dumb necessarily. It's just that he's, what is it? He is kind of frivolous, right? He doesn't kind of think. He doesn't think ahead. He's just kind of in the moment.
Right.
He just he's like, he's so focused on kind of making money that he forgets sometimes.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, wait a minute,
Like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I gotta think this a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't always think everything through. So
he doesn't really.
He's more of like a hands-on kind of guy. He's more of like, I'm just gonna do it and not too much think about it. Whereas like most people are like, okay, I'm gonna plan this out and it's gonna work. Danny's like, nope, I'm just gonna do it.
He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, he just follows that trail.
Exactly.
For those of you who don't know, that is a
reference to
the Road to El Dorado. Yep.
Really good movie. Definitely check it out. Extremely underrated.
Yes,
honestly.
definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, Dandy is a dandy guy in space who loves boobies and booty.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway.
So, yeah. That I think that might. Well, did you have any final thoughts?
Well, okay. So one thing I do want to mention is if you guys want to read the whole full article, we are gonna leave a link in the description where you can actually look at the same thing we are on screen. You can read what Dante wrote. What about you, Dante? Is there anything else you want to just say, just to kind of wrap it up?
So
do you recommend this? So go ahead, dude. What do you want to say?
So I was gonna say, in terms of recommending this anime, I actually would actually, guys, definitely give it a try. I mean, sure, it may be a little bit different.
It's a little goofy.
It's a little goofy, but at the same time, it's basically one of those shows where it doesn't appear like it's trying to take itself too seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, at the same time, you'll get some laughs here and there. You won't have to worry about too much fan service because I think the way that they do it they're very laid back, right?
And that's one thing that I do like.
Lax approach.
Is that it's a very lax approach, and then also there isn't a lot of the same dumb crud that you find in other stuff.
In generic anime.
Yeah, in generic anime. So like all those other shows where it's very generic with the scenes and the way they do their stuff. This is very different, but it also comes across very laid back and chill. Which is kind of cool that they kind of have a very laid back and chill. And also the art styles are impressive. Some of the different artwork and stuff in here. The visuals are amazing for the anime.
Yeah, it definitely kind of gives me a little bit of that Cowboy Bebop vibe. But
it does.
It's not like dark and gritty, but it's a little more. It's kind of like I'm trying to find the words to explain it, but it's I wouldn't say it's bright and colorful, but it's definitely, if you look at the color scheme, it's got a bit of I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the game Persona, but if you are,
yeah. Well, so there's also a little bit of Soul Eater because one of the guys who did Soul Eater mixed in, and also it's Cowboy Bebop, Soul Eater, and Fullmetal Alchemist. So the artists that worked on it, the people that worked on it. So it's a little bit of mix of all those different kind of art styles and all those different kind of themes. So,
yeah, definitely.
Here you go, dude. Here's an ending. Good way to end it.
Yeah, so guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this little episode on Dandy.
Yeah.
He combs the galaxy like his pompadour.
On the hunt for aliens.
Planet after planet he searches, discovering bizarre new creatures both friendly
and not.
These are the spectacular adventures of Space
Dandy and his brave space crew in space. And we leave you on that note, right?
Until next time. Be dandy and stay out of trouble.
Stay dandy. Peace.